Are you ready? Because this winter, things are about to get really tough. Winter is closing in fast, and if you're watching this, you likely already have a sense of what's coming. Power grids are more vulnerable than ever, energy costs keep climbing, and extreme weather is just around the corner. On top of all that, tensions are rising as we head into a high-stakes election season. If the government is preparing for chaos, it's probably a good idea for us to prepare too. Today, we're talking survival. Specifically, the 8 essential life-saving tips to help keep you and your loved ones warm when the power goes out. Because once those temperatures start to plummet and the lights flicker off, there won't be time to scramble for quick fixes. Preparation is key, and I'll walk you through each step. Let's dive right in. First on the list, Mylar blankets and wool socks. These 2 small items pack a huge punch when it comes to staying warm during cold weather emergencies. If you're serious about surviving a crisis, these are absolute essentials. Let's start with Mylar blankets. They might look like thin, shiny foil sheets, but don't let their appearance fool you. They are total game changers. Here's why. Mylar blankets can reflect up to 90% of your body heat back to you. Yes, you heard that right, 90%. When temperatures start to drop, that's the difference between freezing and staying warm. These blankets are lightweight, compact, and they fold down to nearly nothing, making them super easy to store. No wonder first responders always carry them. Brands like Swiss Safe and Go Time Gear are great choices. But honestly, any Mylar blanket will do the trick. The key is to have them on hand and ready to use when you need them most. And let's not forget about wool socks. While they might seem simple, a good pair of wool socks can keep your feet warm in the coldest conditions. Wool is naturally insulating, even when it gets wet, so it's perfect for harsh winter weather. Make sure to stock up on a few pairs. They're small and easy to store, but they make a world of difference when the temperature drops. So, make sure you get Mylar blankets and wool socks, and keep them in an easy-to-access spot. Because when the power goes out and the chill sets in, you'll be glad you did. For at least 2 or 3 per person in your household, trust me, they won't take up much room. But when you're in a pinch, you'll be beyond grateful for those extras. Now, let's talk about wool socks. Adding a good pair of wool socks to your emergency gear is an absolute game changer. Wool is like the superhero of fabrics. Even if it gets soaking wet, it still keeps you warm. That's right. While most fabrics lose their insulation properties when wet, wool keeps working. This is why wool is essential in both outdoor and indoor survival situations. When it's freezing and you're stuck without heat, keeping your feet warm is crucial. Once your feet get cold, it's hard to feel warm again, and that bone-chilling feeling can set in quickly. So don't underestimate the power of a good pair of wool socks. Consider socks from trusted brands, like Darn Tough or Smart Wool. These brands are favorites among preppers and outdoor enthusiasts for good reason. They are incredibly durable, insanely warm, and designed to handle just about anything. These aren't your typical department store socks. They're built for the long haul, so stock up on wool socks and Mylar blankets. It's a simple, affordable first step that could make all the difference when the temperatures drop. All right, folks, now we're getting into the serious stuff, keeping that hard-earned warmth inside your home. We all know windows are the weakest link when it comes to heat loss. When the power goes out and the temperatures plummet, those windows start letting out heat faster than you can imagine. But here's the good news. You can take action right now to keep that precious warmth where it belongs. Step 1. Heavy-duty thermal curtains. And no, I'm not talking about those delicate lace curtains you see in living rooms. I'm talking about real, thick thermal curtains. These can make a huge difference in trapping heat inside. Look for ones that are labeled as energy efficient or that specifically state they help with insulation. They're not just for keeping the light out. They're designed to keep the warmth in and the cold out. Grandma's living room curtains? No, we're talking about the heavy, energy-saving kind, like the Nicktown thermal curtains. These thick, tough curtains are designed to block cold drafts and trap warmth inside. Think of them as armor for your windows, especially when winter comes knocking. Hang these over every window you can reach, and you're already several steps ahead. In fact, these curtains can reduce heat loss by up to 25%. That's a full quarter of your home's warmth staying inside just from a single set of curtains. And in a blackout situation, that kind of efficiency can be a true lifeline. But let's not stop there. I've got another trick for you. Bubble wrap. Yes, you heard me right. Bubble wrap. That same stuff you've probably been popping from your last Amazon delivery. It's not just for fun, it's actually a handy survival tool. Here's how it works. Spritz a little water on your windows, then press the bubble wrap onto the glass. Boom, you've just added an extra layer of insulation. The little air bubbles act like mini heat barriers, trapping warmth and slowing down the escape of heat. It's a next-level survival hack, and it's super easy to do. A roll of bubble wrap from your local hardware store can cover all your windows for just a few bucks, and the difference it makes is huge. This simple trick alone can keep your home several degrees warmer without breaking the bank. Now, here's a DIY move that's both simple and highly effective: building a reflective heat wall. You don't need to be a handyman to pull off this hack, and trust me, it can make a huge difference in keeping the heat exactly where you want it. The idea is simple. Use aluminum foil to reflect heat back into the room. This is especially effective when placed behind a space heater or any heat source. The foil reflects the heat back into the room rather than letting it escape. It's an incredibly cheap way to maximize the warmth you're already generating. Heat has this annoying habit of disappearing quickly, especially in the dead of winter. But with a little bit of science and creativity, you can turn that around and bounce that warmth right back into your room. Here's how. Take a piece of cardboard and wrap it with aluminum foil, shiny side out. Then place it behind your radiator or along the wall where you need the most warmth. This simple setup will reflect the heat back into your space instead of letting it seep into the walls. It's an incredibly easy trick, but it can make a world of difference, especially when every bit of warmth counts. Why wrap the cardboard in aluminum foil with the shiny side facing out? Because that's where the magic happens. The shiny side of the foil reflects the heat right back towards you, almost like you've created your own little solar panel for warmth. The best part? This trick works with any heat source, whether you're using a portable heater like a Mr. Buddy or even just a few candles. This hack helps focus that heat, making it far more effective. It's like turning a small candle into a mini furnace. No joke. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't going to transform your room into a sauna. But in a survival situation, it could mean the difference between freezing and feeling like you're wrapped up in a cozy little pocket of warmth. Picture this. You're huddled in a small room with a few candles or a tiny space heater going, and you've lined the wall behind it with your foil-wrapped cardboard. The heat that would normally escape now bounces straight back at you, creating a microclimate of warmth right where you need it most. All right, folks, here's a clever trick for staying warm when you don't have access to traditional heating sources. Clay flower pot heaters might sound unconventional, but trust me, they're the unsung heroes of emergency warmth. And the best part? You can set one up with items you probably already have lying around the house. This DIY hack can turn your chilly room into a cozy little haven in no time. So, let's break it down. Why clay pots work. Clay, especially terracotta, is amazing at soaking up heat and slowly releasing it over time. What you're doing here is tapping into that natural ability to radiate warmth into your space. What you'll need: 2 terracotta pots. You can grab these from your garden or garage. A metal tray, any sturdy surface to hold your heat source. Tea lights or canned heat. Safety first. Make sure to use safe, controlled heat. Here's how you set it up. 1. Start by placing your candles or canned heat on the metal tray. This will be your heat source. 2. Next, take the smaller of your 2 terracotta pots, flip it upside down, and place it over the heat source. 3. Don't forget to cover the drainage hole of the pot with aluminum foil to trap the heat inside. This is crucial to ensure the warmth stays contained and radiates effectively. With this simple setup, you'll create a warm, glowing heater that slowly releases heat into your room, making your environment much more comfortable. Pro tip for extra warmth. For even more heat, you can use a double clay pot setup. Simply place the second, larger pot over the first one to help hold and distribute more heat. Now, here's an extra tip to really boost the heat output. Take a second, larger clay pot and place it over the smaller one. Prop it up on some bricks or stones to allow for air circulation. This double pot setup creates a heat chamber that radiates warmth into your space. And trust me, the amount of heat these pots can generate is impressive. You might think, it's just a little flower pot. How much heat could it possibly hold? But once those pots get hot, they radiate heat like a mini furnace. It's almost like a magic trick. 1 minute you're shivering, and the next you're cozy and warm. This setup works great in living rooms, bedrooms, or even a small bathroom. It's perfect for creating a warm nook when you need it the most. Why clay works. Here's the secret. Clay retains heat for hours. Once the pots heat up, they'll continue to radiate warmth long after the flames die down. That's free heat, folks. You're not just burning candles, you're storing heat and letting it work for you. This small setup might seem simple, but in an emergency, it could be a lifesaver. Next, let's talk about your floors. Most people focus on insulating walls and windows, but your floor is just as important when it comes to heat loss. Cold air naturally sinks and just sits there, making your whole room feel like an icebox. But here's the good news. You can fix this right now by insulating your floors with thick rugs or even blankets. This provides immediate warmth and comfort. Think about it. If you're sitting, standing, or especially sleeping on a cold, hard floor, you're basically giving the cold a chance to drain your body's heat. But a thick rug or blanket acts as a barrier, trapping warmth and keeping your body temperature from plummeting. Now, let's talk about your floors again. If you've ever spent time on a cold floor, you know how quickly that chill can creep up on you. Before you know it, you're freezing. But throw down some heavy-duty rugs, like those Safia wool rugs, and you've just created a thermal barrier. You've trapped that cold air beneath the rug, while your body gets to hold on to all that precious warmth. This isn't just about comfort. It could be the difference between staying warm and starting to shiver when the power's out. And hey, if you don't have fancy rugs lying around, don't worry, get creative. Layer up with blankets, old towels, or anything thick you can find. Fleece blankets are fantastic for this because they trap heat like champs. And wool works even better. If you have any extra blankets lying around, now's the time to pull them out and start stacking them up. You'll be amazed at how much of a difference this makes. Seriously, you'll feel a noticeable bump in temperature, especially if you're trying to stay warm overnight. Lay a blanket beneath you, throw another one on top, and suddenly you'll feel like you're wrapped in a cocoon of warmth compared to sitting on a bare, cold floor. Pro tip. Layer several rugs or blankets if you can. Double up, triple up, go wild. The more layers you have between you and the cold floor, the warmer you'll stay. You're essentially building an insulation fortress from the ground up. And it's not just about your feet either. If you're sleeping on the floor, that cold air will try to creep up and zap your body heat. You need to stop it in its tracks, and these extra layers will absolutely do the job. This setup helps you retain warmth and create a cozy, insulated area, making a huge difference in your comfort level when the temperature drops. Would you like to continue to the next section or need further edits? Now, let's tackle another sneaky culprit in the battle against the cold: drafty doors. If you're letting cold air sneak in under your doors, it's like you're throwing your heat right out the window. Seriously, even the smallest gap at the bottom of a door can turn your cozy room into a freezer. But don't worry, this fix is so simple, it's almost ridiculous. Draft stoppers are your secret weapon. You can pick up a twin draft guard or a Hulk-Me draft stopper for just a few bucks, and trust me, they're worth every penny. Once you pop one of these at the base of your door, it's like slamming the door shut on Old Man Winter himself. No more freezing air creeping in, and no more losing that precious warmth. You're basically locking in your heat, which is a game changer, especially during a power outage or when you're trying to conserve what little heat you've got left. But wait, if you don't have a draft stopper handy, don't sweat it. You can easily make one with things you already have around the house. Just roll up an old towel, a blanket, or even stuff some socks together and shove it against the door. Boom, instant draft stopper. It's so easy you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. Every draft you block could mean several degrees of difference inside your home. Seriously, you'll stay a lot warmer with just a towel at the door. But don't stop at one door. Go around and check every single one in your house, especially those leading to the outside. Cold air is sneaky. It'll find any way it can to slide in. If your home has a drafty basement door or a back door that doesn't seal tight, that's heat loss central, my friend. Stop it in its tracks. Seal those doors tight with draft stoppers or DIY fixes, and you'll definitely feel the difference. But don't forget about your windows. If you've already covered them with bubble wrap, which you definitely should, throw a rolled-up towel or a draft stopper on the windowsill to seal any tiny gaps where cold air might be creeping in. This is one of those tips where small effort equals huge rewards. The difference it makes when you seal off those drafts is massive. So, if you want to stay toasty while everyone else is freezing, this is the move. Grab those draft stoppers, seal up those doors and windows, and feel the warmth rush back in. You'll thank yourself later. When it comes to staying warm during a winter power outage, the absolute worst time to feel cold is when you're trying to sleep. You know how it is. When you're freezing, there's no way you're getting any rest. But here's the thing. With the right setup, you can create a sleeping space so cozy and insulated that you'll forget it's even cold outside. This could be a lifesaver when temperatures plummet. First off, if you don't already have a high-quality sleeping bag, you need to get one. Like yesterday. I'm talking about a cold weather-rated sleeping bag designed to keep you warm, even in freezing conditions. Brands like Teton Sports and Marmot offer some next-level sleeping bags that will make you feel like you're wrapped in a toasty cocoon. If you live in an area where winters are brutal, or you're prepping for a long-term outage, a kerosene heater could be a total game changer. We're talking serious, reliable heat when you need it most. But here's the catch. You have to know how to use one safely. Kerosene heaters aren't toys. They can produce a ton of heat, and if you're not careful, you could end up dealing with more than just cold weather. Brands like DeWalt and Sengoku are top tier when it comes to indoor kerosene heaters. These aren't flimsy space heaters that just give off a little warm air and call it a day. No, these heaters can pump out serious BTUs and can warm up a whole room. Heck, in some cases, they can even heat your entire house if it's not too big. When you fire one of these up, it's like going from a winter tundra to a cozy cabin in no time. But here's where it gets critical. Safety, safety, safety. You absolutely must use a kerosene heater in a well-ventilated area. I can't stress this enough. These heaters produce carbon monoxide, which is a deadly gas that can build up quickly. You need fresh air circulating, so crack a window or open a door to ensure you're staying safe. Don't worry, your heater will still keep you warm even with a little ventilation. It's all about being smart. Also, never ever leave a kerosene heater running while you're asleep or unattended. That's just asking for trouble. Fuel, kerosene, is like liquid gold when it comes to heating during a blackout. It's a great backup, but only if used the right way. Stay cautious, and a kerosene heater could be your ultimate heating ally during tough times. You'll want to stock up on kerosene before the cold weather hits. Once everyone else realizes how chilly it's getting, kerosene will fly off the shelves faster than you can say, winter storm. So, plan ahead and grab some high-quality kerosene. None of that off-brand stuff. It's not just about keeping your heater running smoothly. Bad kerosene can cause clogs, unpleasant odors, and even more dangerous emissions. So, get the good stuff while you can. And hey, don't forget to keep flammable materials far, far away from your kerosene heater. I know it seems obvious, but it's worth mentioning. You'd be amazed at how easy it is to accidentally leave something like a blanket or piece of paper too close. Maintain a safe zone around your heater, nothing within several feet of it, so you can relax, knowing you're using it responsibly. When used correctly, a kerosene heater can be a literal lifesaver. While everyone else is bundling up and trying to survive the freeze, you'll be sitting there in your warm oasis, toasty and safe. Just remember, ventilation, fuel, and safety first. If you've got those covered, you'll be thanking yourself for being so prepared when the cold comes knocking. If you're still sitting there thinking you don't need to take any of this seriously, you're dead wrong. Winter is coming, and when the power goes out and temperatures plummet, you'll wish you had listened. These aren't just nice-to-have tips. This is Survival 101. If you don't prepare now, you'll regret it later.